I was honestly not a huge fan of reading growing up. I would read the bare minimum for school, and my recreational choices like Goosebumps and Harry Potter, I skimmed through a lot. Aside from manga and comics, but that's a different story. Despite my unenthusiasm towards reading, there are 3 books that have made a huge impact in my life, and I actually sat down and read them all. And I did the work, but I'll explain more on that later. My first book, you probably wouldn't expect it, but it is Helen and Hobbes by Bill Watterson. I know what you're thinking. It's not a book, it's a comic, but it's actually not even a comic. It is a collection of newspaper comics. If you don't know, Calvin and Hobbes is about a young boy and his pet tiger who's actually a stuffed animal, and all of the simple adventures they go on. I've loved this series since I was a kid, and it's one of those things that grow with you. So as a kid, it was more about the imagination and the little adventures he would go on and the really colorful illustrations. But as I got older and I started questioning life like any other teen or young adult would, the dialogue of the whole thing was more complex, and it talked about different philosophies and different perspectives on life. With the different characters throughout the series, they would discuss basic principles and different perspectives on either deeper things or actually really simple, silly things, or societal values. And yeah, it gets pretty deep for a comic that's about a kid and his pet tiger. But the core of it is, because of its simple nature yet complex views, it really just reminds you of the reason it means to live. Even now I can pick up an edition of Calvin and Hobbes, even though I've read almost all of them throughout my lifetime, and find another comic strip that speaks to me in a different way, or that I can understand or process it differently now. I highly recommend it. It's a really easy read. If you want to pick at your brain and evaluate your perspectives on life, then Calvin and Hobbes is your book, comic thing. Book number 2, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. So for this book, I can't even begin to describe what it's done for me. The only reason I discovered this book is because I had 2 friends who invited me to do a weekly book club on it, but before then I've never heard of it at all. I'm not a fan of those self-help books, but I gave it a chance, and it's really beautiful. So the book's general idea and focus is on helping you build confidence in your creative endeavors by meditating on different things, and it actually gives you exercises. That's what I was talking about earlier, giving you some work. So aside from a lot of the deeper points she makes in the book, throughout the assignments and the prompts you can read and work on, it, for me, brought up a lot of suppressed emotions and a deeper understanding of who I am and my spirituality and faith in God. But it also gives other things that people can lean on, like the universe, energy, flow, a higher power, whatever that is for you, and how it connects to creation and what it means to create from that source. For me, as an artist and a lost individual at the time I started this book, it really opened my eyes to the world and what it means to be present and to notice things and to take time for the things that really matter in your life. And yes, it has helped with my art and my creative process. I recommend this book if you want to pursue a dream, if you have a goal or something you've always wanted to achieve, but you didn't know how to pursue it emotionally and mentally and spiritually. Anyways, this book really connected my faith into my creation, and there's a beautiful word that I love called meraki, which means to put your soul into creation. It's a Greek word, and that word with this book just makes so much sense to me. So every time I make something, it's not about what the world has to offer or why I'm making it or I'm not making it for a certain someone. It's really just making it for myself. And that, well, this book really, I guess, helped me understand that more. But yeah, I recommend it if you have 12 weeks, you like doing homework, and you want to change your life, it's worth it. I promise you will come out with a new perspective if you read this book. The third and last book is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Coelho? The reason why I don't have a physical copy of it is because I read it on Kindle, which is a great digital book app that is not sponsoring this video. Anyways, so for me, The Alchemist has a more personal reason as to why it's one of my favorites. If you haven't heard of The Alchemist before, it is about the story of a shepherd boy who goes on this wonderful adventure to find this extravagant treasure that's way on the other side of the world. The book gives you a profound perspective on life, and I received it as a reminder to enjoy the journey and that you're exactly where you're meant to be when it comes to pursuing your own personal treasure. As a workaholic, I have tendencies to neglect the more important things in my life. I have lost a lot of really great relationships and potential memories, always trying to work, and there's always this fear of the future and not being prepared for it and having to work to be prepared for it. The Alchemist is a simple reminder that life is complex and complicated, but it's beautiful if you take time to really find yourself and really realize that the treasures you seek in life are within you already. I highly recommend this book to everyone, honestly. No matter what your situation is in life, wherever you are, it's just a beautiful, simple reminder of living and to be true to yourself. I realize that now these three books, in a weird way, are similar when it comes to the reasons why I like them, but different. I don't know if that makes sense. I like them. They're really great. I recommend all of them. And thank you for watching. I read a lot more now, so please, if you have any books that you recommend or simply love, comment them down below and I will add them to my list. See ya.